Welcome to First to Flip, First to Flush. Today, we're going to be talking about plumbing. Indoor plumbing was one of the unique technologies that the W.H. Stark House had when it was constructed in 1895. This was very odd for the time period, as most homes did not have running water. Let's take a look at how this changed the way the Stark family lived.
Indoor plumbing is both a new and old idea. One of the main tools archaeologists use to figure out how advanced a civilization was is by how developed their plumbing was. Rome, for instance, had a water and sewer system 2,000 years ago almost as good as the one most U.S. cities have today. It was so good, in fact, that we get our name for plumbing from the Roman word for lead, which is what their pipes were made out of. And lead actually was the biggest problem with that system. It poisoned the water the Romans drank. It took a lot of work and money to keep their system functional. After the Roman Empire, most of the water systems stopped working. It took over 1,000 years before cities in Europe would have the same water systems or as good water systems as the Romans.
Every good water and sewer system has two basic parts: bringing in clean, safe water and taking away used, dirty, and unsafe water. This sounds pretty simple, but is actually very hard. You have to find or make clean water, and then you have to move that water where it's needed safely and without contaminating it. Finally, you have to find a way to get rid of the dirty wastewater.
When the house was built in 1895, the water and sewer system in Orange was bad. People in Orange either got their water directly from the Sabine River or local wells. Either way, it wasn't safe. Before toilets and sewer systems were invented, people used the bathroom in other ways. Many people, especially in the country, used what was called an outhouse. These were literally small buildings over a hole in the ground, and the waste just went into the ground. Now that's pretty bad in and of itself, but it's worse when you remember that many rural people also got their water from wells, which were basically just another hole in the ground. Often outhouses and wells were only a few feet apart, which means that people were getting their drinking water from basically the same source as their waste. Not very good.
As bad as that sounds, cities were even worse. Inside the cities, many people used chamber pots instead of outhouses. These were simple or ornate, depending on how much money you had, pots that people used the bathroom in and then dumped out. Where, you might ask? Often right out into the street. The streets where these chamber pots were emptied were already dirty from horse poop and other trash. All of this waste would eventually run off into the river, the same river that people used to collect their water. Are you seeing the problem here?
Solutions to these major water problems weren't easy and took time. The house showcases this technological development. Because the water systems in the W.H. Stark House were so new, they do have some big differences between the ones we normally see today. When the house was first built, there were 3 bathrooms, each with a toilet, sink, and bathtub. They were built on top of each other, one on each floor, at one end of the house. This makes the plumbing easier because the same water and sewer lines were connected to all bathrooms. This makes a lot of sense, but if you think about how bathrooms are actually used, do you really want to go all the way down to the same end of the house every time you have to use the bathroom or just to wash your hands? Especially when people were used to using chamber pots and wash basins inside their bedrooms. Eventually, 2 more bathrooms were added closer to the bedrooms, and new technologies like showers were added.
Indoor plumbing completely changed how people lived. Think about how much water we use in our houses every day. Every time you wash your hands, take a shower, flush a toilet, run a dishwasher, get a glass of water from the refrigerator, you are reaping the benefits of indoor plumbing. You may not think of these as life-saving devices now, but keeping water sources clean and taking waste away safely prevents many different types of illnesses. As you go throughout the rest of your day, try to take note of every time you use clean water, and think about what it would have been like for people who didn't have access to this.